The Godfather the game is an open world game in which you come in, create yourself, create your character in a living 1945 to 1955 New York, and you join the Corleone family and rise through the ranks as they sort of run their business trying to take over territory. And you try to earn respect and eventually become the Don. In creating your character, we actually are building off our game face technology that we created for Tiger Woods. And the focus here is you're not going to be able to create anything. You need to be able to fit within the fiction, so you'll be, a male character. You'll have some constraints on what that character could look like, the appropriate ethnicity, so that it would make sense that he'd be in the Corleone family. But you'll be able to create the shape of what he looks like and what he feels like. And over time, the things you do in the game will actually start to change. Your character may age over the course of 10 years. One of the ways we kind of measure what we're trying to do in our game as compared to maybe other open world games is we think that the game is 80% about interacting with other characters and maybe 20% being in vehicles. But you can drive, you can walk around, you can talk to characters, you've got weapons, you can fight with hand to hand, you can shoot. But a lot of the game is thinking about how are you using each one of these tools to advance your progress in the game. So most sort of shooter experiences, what you're trying to do is, kill the other opponent, right? Everything is like another speed bump. You try to shoot it and continue to progress through the game. In our game, every NPC has something to offer you. So what you really want to do is get something out of them. You want that person to respect you so much that they're willing to give it to you. You try to figure out which buttons to push, which strings to pull on each character. So think about, you're extorting a butcher, right? This guy needs to be paying money to you guys for protection. He might not want to, So you can go out, you pull out your gun, you stick your gun up into the guy's head and say, I think it's time you're going to pay up, right? And he's going to react to that, right? So you're trying to get him to that point. In another game, someone might have some information and might not, or you might want to. You can go sort of the other side. Instead of doing the intimidation side, you might know you want to pull a bank heist off, 3 nights from now. Well, there's a cop who patrols in that area. You might walk up to him and bribe him. So you give him $500 and all of a sudden he's going to look the other way. So you sort of go down the sort of negotiation tack with that. He does something for you. He's not there on patrol that night. You're able to do the mission you wanted to do. Our goal wasn't to create the Godfather movie game. Our goal was to create a living 1945 to 1955 Manhattan based and inspired by the Godfather universe and the Godfather fiction. So what happens is you're really creating your own story. You come into this world and intersect and interact with the Corleones and sort of rise through the ranks, and you'll experience the key moments of the story, and they become kind of touchstones. And so we're gonna be true to the fiction that was told, but it's not really your story actually goes beyond that. So there's characters who are minor that might take bigger roles in our story. There's characters that didn't exist in the Godfather book or fiction, which have big roles in our game. So think about, these are moments that happen in the Corleones. You want to experience them. They're rich, moments of sort of cinema legend. We want you to be able to experience, but you're going to experience them kind of on your terms in your world. Right, and you're going to be kind of creating your own story as you journey through it. Well, the cars will be, cars that are appropriate to the period, and they will actually change over time. Over the course of 10 years, new cars will get introduced. The weapons will be, guns and Tommy guns and handguns and melee weapons and other, context-sensitive objects in the environment you can use as weapons. We've actually sort of thought about the game from 3 sort of core audiences. We think about the fan of the fiction, kind of the casual gamer, and the hardcore gamer. I think the fan of the fiction will be most interested in playing kind of that spine or those touch-tone moments which are sort of inspired from the film, and then going all the way out to the sort of hardcore gamer where they're going to want to take over every racket. They're going to want to take over every business and kind of own all of New York. And so the end goal for them would become the Don of all New York. If you played the more sort of linear spine, which isn't really linear because you're going to have to move through the world to play it. If you play that more core spine, you become sort of the Don of your own family. So there's different endings depending on how far you want to go in the game. We're going to be shipping this fall, and we'll be shipping on the PS2, the Xbox, the PC, and other consoles as they become available.